Let's get started. Good morning, guys. How are we? Dave here, once again, wearing my Mayhems t-shirt. Repping the Mayhems, of course. And here we are, with the stuff. So I figured that we would start with the specs and what I'm actually putting together. It's from my friend Luke. And he basically gave me a £1,600 budget. I think it was up to like 1650. And I think I was like somewhere in between. I think it was like 1625 total by the time everything had been, like priced up. We had to change a couple of things last minute because when I spec'd it, there was a few days between speccing it and him like buying the parts. So the graphics took a change. Like the graphics card, took a change right at the end, very very quickly. Which is okay. It's a 2070 Super. So still got one of them. It's just a slightly different model. Ended up being like MSI for the core components, and that just kind of happened by chance rather than like me fangirling over MSI. So they just offered like a really good price for like for the price for the like what he wants. He wants Wi-Fi on the motherboard, for example. Yeah, and obviously, like cutting corners on a few things, like not the fastest memory. Like the memory here is 3200 megahertz, but he wanted 32 gigs. So it's not cutting corners, but it's just like getting the best price for the money. So we'll run through all the bits because I've got literally all of them here. Might as well start with the case, seeing as it's all the way over here. The case is the GamerStorm Macube 310. I gave this a review on the channel here, a little while ago, and it got a very very good review from me. So I figured Luke wasn't overly fussed about what he got for a case, so I figured that I would just give him something that I know is really good for a great price. And the Macube 310 kind of just came in trumps. It's obviously adds that huge glass side panel as well, with the handle that looks a lot like this as well. So I gave him the option of the white and the black, and he went for the white. So we'll unbox that shortly. Motherboard. Move all the way straight over to that. Here we have the MSI MPG X570 Gaming Edge Wi-Fi. Picked it because obviously it's good for the CPU pairing, but you also wanted onboard Wi-Fi. I figured it would be easier just to get onboard Wi-Fi rather than picking up something that a separate Wi-Fi card and stuff like that. So he's got it all on board. It's being paired with a Ryzen 7 3800X, so that's an 8-core 16-thread CPU. It's a 3.9 gigahertz base clock with a 4.5 gigahertz max boost. So this I'm probably going to leave it stock if I'm being completely honest with you, and I'm just going to set the Corsair Vengeance 32 gigs 3200 megahertz to just load that XMP profile and just kind of leave it at that. For storage, I went with a Samsung 970 Evo. That's a 1 terabyte M.2 SSD. It's not Gen 4. Saved some pennies here and just went with Gen 3. It's just going to have the OS and some programs and things like that on. So it's fast enough. It's still crazy fast. Doesn't need Gen 4. And like I say, it's always you can have Gen 4 with the motherboard, but it just provides an upgrade path for the future. So if it's something that he decides he wants to go for, then he can do that later on down the line. For more storage, I recommended that he got the BX500. It's a 2 terabyte SSD, so it's just a bog standard 2.5 inch SSD. And he's going to store his games and his other files on that. He's saying that he wants to start streaming and things like that, so obviously he can record his stream clips and things like that to this as well. Graphics card is the MSI RTX 2070 Super. It's the Ventus GP edition. It's the OC edition. I don't really know what the difference is, but still a fine card. I think originally I lined up the Gaming X, the one with the 2 fans, not the 3. So it's the Gaming X Dual, not the Trio. And then when he came to order it, it was just completely gone from Scan's website. So we ended up with this instead. Cooling, we could have just used stock cooling, but he wanted an AIO, so I just recommended he get the Corsair H100X. Just as a white LED, nothing too fancy, so it's one of the things where we cut some corners to save some pennies, but it's still a fantastic cooler. I actually have it on my PC right here as well, so I can thoroughly recommend it. It's a great cooler for the price. And then that's just getting powered by the EVGA 750 GQ. So it's fully modular except for the 24 pin, 80 plus gold, 750 watts. So it's gonna absolutely future-proof him for upgrades in the future as well, for graphics cards and things like that. So yeah, with the current prices and things like that as well, obviously power supplies have taken a bit of a hike recently. So I kind of just went for like middle ground where I know it gives him quite a lot of upgrade path in the future. So that's that. That's the specs. Nice and easy. Sorry I'm using a webcam for today's stream, but I ordered a HDMI capture card for my SLR and it just didn't arrive yesterday when it was supposed to. So here we are. Might as well just get on with the build. Hey. What I'm going to do is, seeing as I haven't unboxed any of this stuff, so I have no idea if any of it works. So we're doing it like we got it straight from the delivery from Scan themselves. So I'm just going to build it on the box right here. I've got the HDMI cable ready to test on the monitor up here. I've got a power cable plugged in already, all good to go. It's part of my setup for the stream today. And yeah, we're just gonna build it on the box just to make sure that everything's working first, and then we're gonna build it into the case. So we'll start with the motherboard, and again it's the MPG X570 Gaming Edge Wi-Fi. Now I'm gonna just take out all the parts I need right now, so that I don't have to go back into the box at all. But here we have the motherboard itself. I'm just gonna set it down on the table. Lawrence, good morning. Hello, how are you? We're going to need the antennas, but not yet, so I'm actually going to leave those in the box. We're going to need one of these SATA cables. Again, not really anytime soon, but I'm just going to remove it anyway. Trusty knife. There we are, there's that. What else comes in the box? We have it's just like it's a 3-pin ARGB adapter. That's nice actually. Well done, MSI. What have we got here? We've got the thank you for choosing the MSI product. Register. Luke, register your products, mate. It just helps a lot. Got an M.2 screw. We are going to need one of these, so I'm going to set. Oh, dropped it on the floor. I'm going to set that aside as well. We got some mumbo jumbo. Driver DVD. A lot of people are just like, oh, throw it away, but you never know when you might need it, especially for things like stickers. Especially for things like, you know, Ethernet drivers and things like that. You can never be too sure. Really, it would just help if you had another laptop, but we've got a second M.2 screw. I'm going to leave it in there for Luke in case he wants to, in case he buys another M.2, for example. It's a nice little MSI gaming badge. Stickers you saw earlier, these are those SATA cable stickers. They're tacky, I'm going to leave them in there. I'm going to leave that in there as well. I think I've got everything I need right now. I'm not going to get the antennas back out until the case is completely built, so you might as well just stay in there. But we've got the SATA cable, we've got the M.2 screw. That can go back. Let's take the motherboard out of the bag. There we go. And we'll put this back inside the box as well. There we go. Now, we've got the motherboard on the box. Up here. CPU installation time. I'm not going to use the stock cooler, so that's just going to stay in the box. open this up. There we go. The stock cooler with the 3800X is the Wraith, so that's very nice. So that's the complete like ARGB one. We have the CPU itself. That's really all I'm after out of this box here. So let's unpack that. There we are. Nice shiny Ryzen 7 3800X. To install. I'm not gonna go through like the install procedures and all that stuff, guys. I'm literally just gonna get it done. I have to go to a wedding venue later. Not mine. My sister's. So yeah. There's a little gold triangle. Very, very, very small. On that corner there. You can just about make it out. There's a little gold dot. That is gold. Trust me. And on the motherboard, it just matches up. There's a triangle up in the top corner. If in doubt, turn it to the side. Read the writing. It says socket AM4 there. That lines up with the writing, so it just goes in that way. So I'm just gonna pinch it on the sides, and we're just gonna drop it in. Beautiful. No force whatsoever. It's sat in the socket. Push that back down. CPU's installed, guys. Nice and easy. That can go back in there. And that can go down. That can go in there. And there we go. CPU's installed. Woohoo! What's next? Let's do the RAM next. So we've got the Corsair Vengeance LPX. It's a 32 gigabyte kit. Obviously, the stock cooler isn't too bad. No, you are correct. The stock cooler isn't that bad, but you know, we've got an AIO. Like with the CPU's ability to overclock itself, I just figured I'd give it the best cooling, and then that way it can just go for it. Yeah, so we've got the 32 gigabyte kit, dual channel, and it's at 3200 megahertz. So I chose, you know, once you go above that, then the price just starts like skyrocketing like incrementally. So yeah, in goes the first stick. As is the case for a while, you use the slots that are not together, but they're like opposites, and you use the two that are furthest away. It also has a little, like a handy dandy indicator on the motherboard that tells you. It says first, so you use A2 and B2, so it's just like the if you go from left to right, it's the second and fourth slot, so you just install it in those. But if in doubt, always just refer to the motherboard manual, guys. There we are, the RAM's installed, nice and easy. Nice. What's next? Let's do the M.2 next. Now what I'm going to do is I could just put like the M.2 into this slot in the bottom, and this slot in the bottom is Gen 3, and that's obviously what the 970 Evo is. It's Gen 3, not a Gen 4. But we have a Gen 4 slot up here, which is obviously backwards compatible. It has a cooler. It has or just a metal plate that will provide some cooling. We've got to undo these screws here, but that's not a problem. So we might as well just use the cooling while it's there, and then if at some point Luke decides that he wants to get a Gen 4 or just another M.2 and he wants to swap them over, then all he can do is move it down, get a heatsink for it or whatever, job's done. But while it's here, we might as well just use it. I need to get a different screwdriver for these, so I'm just going to do 1 second. Handy dandy screwdriver kit. So that's 1 of 3. Trying to get you guys a better view, but not really sure if I can get one. If I move that down a little bit, that's a bit better, isn't it? There we go. How are we all this morning? Hope we're all well. So there's another sticker on the fan, and yes, the X570 boards do have a fan. It says, "Play hard, stay silent, zero frozer." Don't know if you guys can make that out or not, but it says, "Fan not spinning, don't worry. The fan stops spinning in low load situations." So Luke, there you go. If you see the fan not spinning, don't freak out, mate. I'm gonna stick that on the side of the motherboard box just for a minute. That's all the screws undone. And they fell out, of course they did. There's one. Saw that coming a million miles away, didn't we? Yeah. The screw fell inside the fan housing there, guys. Now let's open up the 970 Evo. Take a look at this. Gotta say, these are really very, very fantastic M.2 SSDs. Probably some of the best. You wonder how much higher the 3800X will boost with the AIO? You'd I don't know, I think you'd be surprised. I might you know, do a follow-up or something. But I do have to get this build to back to Luke as soon as possible. So I'm not sure if I'll be able to do that or not. But installing the M.2 just is a bit like laptop RAM. Just goes up at a bit of an angle, and you just drop it down into place. We need that screw now that I had earlier. So it's in the corner. I'm just gonna tear that off. But yeah, the screwdriver set's fantastic. It is magnetic as well, to a point. There we go. There we are, very nice. Now, that's the M.2 install. Very easy. And that could go over there. Now, with the heatsink, looking at it, I'm not entirely sure why that's stuck to it. Stuck to the thermal pad, that's a bit strange. I can't see a reason for that being on there, so what I'm actually going to do is I'm just going to throw that away. We're going to remove the plastic covering for the thermal pad there. Go in the bin. Now that we're just checking that everything here is clear, the M.2 SSD is installed correctly. I'm just going to drop that back on. There we go. Yeah, that's good. There we go. So the M.2 SSD, the Samsung 970 Evo is going to have some good calling for a while anyway. I'm not sure like how and when Luke plans for his next upgrades and stuff, but I can imagine it won't be for a while. He's just spent £1,600 on all this lot, so yeah. There we go, those 3 screws are back in place. Lovely jubbly. Notice there's a little bit of plastic up here as well, so there we go. Nice little peel. There's no more up there. There's some on the RAM. I'm going to leave it. They don't need to come off. It's just for the Vengeance stickers. That's installed. RAM's installed. We got the fan spin, so that's good. It's a good sign. Let's unbox the next SSD. Not that we need it right now, actually. I'm actually gonna leave that for a minute. We won't actually unbox this until we put everything in the case. It's just gonna sit in the back of the case out of sight anyway. Let's do the CPU caller next. I'm gonna install that now on the CPU, and then when we transfer everything over to the case, I'm just gonna put the fans on and all that stuff. But basically, I just want to do a test to make sure that you know, everything just turns on. We're going to plug in the graphics card in a minute as well, and we're just going to do a test boot just to make sure that everything works. I'm going to set XMP there and then that way, once I install everything into the case, we can just install Windows straight away. So set that to the side. Okay, here we are. Thank you, Mr. Lindy Screwdriver Set. It saved my butt once again. More warranty guides and stuff like this. So, Luke, you're going to be filling out some warranty information for a while, my friend. This adapter might come in handy, actually. So, I'm not going to take out the box. I'm just going to leave it where it is for a minute. Here we have the radiator. I think this is all the mounting kit. I haven't actually. Oh, okay. Oh, it just uses the little clips there. So, oh, it's going to be a nice, easy install. Yay! What's in this little baggie here? So we have. Oh, we need these. So that's the AM4 clips. Then the last thing in the bag is the Intel backplate, but we don't need that, so that can stay there. So I think out of this huge bag of stuff, we actually only need 2 of the thumb screws, and then just those plastic clip. Looking for the other one. There we go. That's it. We're obviously going to need like the screws and stuff for the radiator fans and stuff like that, but we don't need them yet. So they're going to go back in there. That's everything else. Fans. I'm not going to put the fans on. Like the PC's going to be on for like not very long at all. Okay, more plastic rubbish. So the H100X is powered by a SATA power connector, and then you just have like one single wire going to the 3-pin, and that's just to get a readout for the motor speed. Pretty basic. It's made by Call-It. We've got the thermal paste pre-applied. I'm going to use that stuff. Luke actually ordered a little MX4 thermal compound stick, but what I'm going to do is just leave that for him, and then he can use it again in the future. We need to take them off to remove. We've got the Intel brackets on here still, so we need to remove that. I'm just going to pull that out. And what I'm going to do is drop in temporarily, because I'm not sure what way they need to be up. So we'll remove those, and I'm actually just for a minute going to leave them there. Because yeah, I'm not sure on the rotation. So for that bracket, let's have a look. Intel, AMD, here we go. So I put them on the wrong way around. Good job I checked the manual. There we go. That was easy. Now then, orientation. We obviously want the Corsair logo to be facing the right way up. So it goes straight across there. There's a nice little plastic bit. I'll remove that in a minute. So it's going to go up like this on the board. So now that I have that orientation, we move this over a minute. There we are. I'm going to just leave that there for 1 second. I'm just going to make life a little bit easier for myself by adding by just like pre-attaching the clip now. Turn that to the side. the Sunday, guys, out for a drive. So pre-applied that side. Gonna move it over and just clip on the clip on that side, and there we go. Easy as that, boys and girls. Just gonna tighten this a second. I know my hand's right in the way. But that block is right over the middle of the CPU now, so that's great. That's exactly where I wanted it. Perfect. Now I'm just going to hand tighten the 2 screws on either side. I could use a screwdriver here, but I don't feel super comfortable doing that. That looks about right. I'll check thermals and stuff once I've done the Windows installation as well, just to make sure everything's okay. Now then, obviously, I'm not going to route the cables right now, but I'm just going to plug that in to the CPU header on the motherboard. That will need to go into a SATA power connector from the power supply. So, CPU fan header number 1, I can see right here at the top, so I'm just going to plug it in up there when we do the test boot here. So I'm just going to plot that in now. Actually, there we are, nice and easy. I'm going to stretch this out a little bit. Great, job's good in. Now then, what should we do next? Lucas, hey, how are you? Let's unbox the power supply and then we'll do the graphics card last. Gotta break the seal. Thank you, EVGA. More stuff to undo. There we go. Knife away. So we got the massive cables, a plug, which I'm just going to leave in the box because I've got my own, just using my own. Oh, there's some more cables. Oh, yay. Lots more cables. Four silver screws there. We have a bag of silica gel. Do not eat this stuff, guys. You do a giveaway. No, mate, no. I mean, I will be giving this away, but it will be to the owner. And there we go. The 750 GQ on-off switch on the back. 100 and what looks like a 120mm fan. Pretty standard affair. Now, the only thing that's not modular, like I said earlier, was the 24 pin. That's okay. Everything else is modular, so that's great. We've got the eco mode. I'm just going to leave it off. So there we go. Going to keep that. It's a nice little Velcro sticker. So while we got the 24 pin here, let's plug that in. So there we are. That was a bit tough. Going to plug in the power cable. Boom. Power switch is off for a minute, but that's okay. I'm actually just going to turn that over just so I can plug in the stuff in a minute. There we are. Now then, I'm going to need power for the CPU. Looks like these are the SATA power cables. So I'm going to take out everything I need now for the build. we have one of those. I only need one. At the moment, we've only got two SATA cables. Two SATA, sorry, power devices. This one has 3, so we only need one of those. It's actually non-toxic. It's just a choking hazard. Does it taste good? Oh, it's good to know. Quick attack, how are you? Anyway, so we only need the one of those for a minute. That can go back in the box. What's next? VGAs. I know that the this 2070 has a 6-pin and an 8-pin. Those are floppies. Definitely don't need those. Okay, so this has a dual 8-pin coming off like the one set of wires. So that's all we need. That's nice. My G2 has like separate 8 pins. So yeah. In a way, that's like better because like I have a 1070 in there and it just needs a single 8-pin. So like if I had this, that would actually kind of annoy me that I'd have a spare wire here. But as we need this for the 2070 here, it's okay. You haven't tried it because you don't want to choke. Yeah, that would be horrible. Oh. Yeah, that doesn't sound too great, guys. I'm not gonna lie. So that's that. That can go back in the box. Power plug back in the. Oh. I'm actually not gonna put that back in the box. I'm just gonna keep it to the side. What do we have here? We got CPU power. There we go. So we've got an 8-pin to an 8-pin. Here we have. On this motherboard, we have an 8-pin and another 4-pin. Now, I'm not sure. I mean, as we're not overclocking it, we're gonna let the motherboard and the CPU decide like what to overclock it to. I think just a single 8-pin would be okay for now. Again, once I've installed Windows, I might run some benchmarks and things like that, and then I might also plug in the extra 4-pin just to do a test. And just see like what thermals are like and if it really benefits from having it or not. But again, that's something I'm going to have to do off camera. We have the Molex stuff. We don't need any of those. And then these are just more, I don't know. Yeah, CPU. Seems to be a lot of CPU power cables here. That's EVGA. Oh no, so that's another. Oh, that's a single 8-pin VGA. Well, there you go. I slagged it off, and now I have to take it back. Well done, EVGA. So I think we've got two CPUs, and then what's this one? This is another single 8-pin VGA. Yep. Well done. I ate my own words. Don't need that one either. I'm going to bundle this back up, and if I have to get it out later, then I will. That's fine. So we got the CPU power connector there as well. Yeah, that's it exactly. That was kind of my rationale for it. That it would just be okay with a single 8-pin. So that's all the cables back in the box out of the way. Excellent. Now then, might as well just use both of them, and then that way it could just run, one single cable to the GPU. Sorry, nearly said VGA because I read VGA on the connector there. Let's plug in the CPU power. We're gonna go up here to the top. And we're going to plug that in VGA number 1. Oh no, we're not, because it's not VGA, it's CPU. So we're going to plug that into CPU number 1. Thank God they're keyed differently, that would have been awkward. At least I spotted it. This is the VGA cable, so we're going to plug that into VGA 1. And then we have the peripheral connector, or in this case the SATA connector. And that's labeled SATA number 1, so we're going to plug that into that one as well. Easy peasy, jobs are going. Right, I'm going to lay that down there. all the cables have run out the way. I'm going to power the CPU cooler, so I'm just going to plug that that SATA connector in there. Very good. It's connected to the header on the motherboard, so at least we'll get a reading for this first boot. Now then, time to unbox the 2070 Super. So again, it's the MSI Ventus. Originally, I told my friend Luke to pick up the MSI Gaming X, and that's the one with the 2 fans, not the Trio. But when it came to order, it wasn't available, so we had to settle for this. It was the only one that was like really similarly priced. So here we are. So we got a nice envelope there from MSI. Again, thank you for choosing, Luke. Register all your products, mate. You get the extended warranties, all that good stuff. And there's the card itself. What else do we get? Do we get anything else? No. Pretty basic affair. I guess everything's inside the envelope, but we don't need it. So yeah. Unboxing the 2070 Super. There we are. I'm just going to set it down on that phone for a second. Lovely. So we got a back plate, which is plastic. Got a plastic back plate, the sticker. Up top we've got a 8-pin and a 6-pin, so that's why I grabbed that cable earlier. It's got MSI GeForce RTX. This is there's no LEDs or anything. It's just printed onto the plastic. Oh, I've smeared that a little bit, so I'll give that a wipe in a minute. But we've got the 2 fans itself. The cooler, it's a nice single like dual slot, so it's nice. It's got a nice profile, and yeah, that's pretty much it actually. It's a fairly standard affair, really. Now I have to remove the cover for the 16X slot. Everything else I'm just going to leave on for a minute. I'm going to unplug. There's only one HDMI connector, so I'm actually just going to unplug that, and that's so that I can connect it to my monitor. And we're just going to go ahead and move the motherboard to the edge of the box. I'm going to drop that in. There we go, nice and easy. So we get the power cable. I'm going to plug in the 8-pin first. That goes like so. And then we're going to route down the 6-pin into place. Beautiful morning, guys. Let me know what the weather's like where you are. But here in the south of England, it's a beautiful sunny morning, as you can see, just about. Now we're going to peel off that sticker for the Corsair cooler. Oh, another satisfying peel. That's all in place. We've got the M.2 plugged in already. Now I just need to grab a keyboard so that I can get into the BIOS. We're going to enable XMP, and as long as everything boots up, we get a display output, then time to build in the case, which is good. In we go. So that's plugged in now to the monitor. Where's my keyboard? Nice and sunny, excellent, that's good. Good to know. Right, so we're just going to plug that into the USB 2 port. I'm not going to install Windows now, guys, like I said, it's just a test boot. Got the keyboard plugged in. I'm going to change the output on my display. Just a second, I need to reach behind you. There we go. Perfect. Right, let's go. Probably go out after, yeah. Yeah, I've got some plans later on, so need to just get cracking with this, to be honest. Right, that can stay there. Now then, screwdriver bit, and let's get this beast going. Front panels here. Oh yeah, helps if I turn the power on first. Looking for LEDs and stuff like that, but so far I'm not seeing any. I was kind of expecting them to turn on like before I added power. Nothing. Okay, still no power. There we go. Whoa, those fans are going crazy! Getting ready for just watching the monitor up here for a display output. Obviously, this is all like the first time like everything's been powered on with each other, so I'm expecting like the fans to just get going for a minute. That's a good. Got LED on the Corsair caller. I don't have an output to the monitor yet. Oh. Yeah, there we go. Woohoo! Ryzen 7 3800X, RAM, speed, the frequency. That's going to get changed. We have 32 gigs. We just have one keyboard plugged in, and yeah, that was good. Cool. I was getting a little bit worried for a second there, actually. All right, so we've got press F1 to run setup. There we go. Excellent. Now I'm going to go into advanced mode because I know what I'm doing. Setting, system status, the time, the date is the 11th today, isn't it? 11/10/2020. Oh, do you have to do it? Is it Tuesday? It's not Tuesday, so I've got the date wrong. So it's 10/11. So we have to do it the American way. How annoying. And then it's 11:22 a.m. 11:22:00. It's alive! Yeah, exactly. 11:22. Right, that's the date and the time set. Sorry, you guys can't see this. AHCI mode is enabled by default. Perfect. Integrated Wi-Fi is enabled. So very quickly. AMD overclocking. Accept. Manual CPU. Okay, I'm just going to leave this stuff alone and come back to that later. Now then, boot. Full screen. Legacy and UEFI. We're gonna leave this. Right, let's get XMP going. AXMP profile number 1 is set for 3200, 16, 18, 18, and 36. So there's 2 profiles, and they're both the same. I'm not entirely sure what to use. I'm just going to leave profile 1 on for now then, and then everything else I'm just going to leave on auto. The OC Explore mode. Yeah, okay. Right, that's good. So we've got a boot. Perfect. So I've disabled the full screen logo and I've enabled XMP. Yes, that's what I wanted to do from that. So now we're just going to restart the computer. And then as long as it goes back into the BIOS again, we're okay. I haven't drunk any of my coffee. Yay! Back into the BIOS, and it's asking me to reboot and select a proper boot device. Perfect. It also recognised the M.2 SSD, so we know that works as well. Cheers. Okay, power's off. Now we get the good stuff, guys. Cable management. Woohoo! Just gonna unplug everything. Well, thank God everything works. I already have to arrange. So funny story, guys. Luke, if you're watching, I'm gonna embarrass you now. I came home on Thursday to find 4 huge boxes, and it wasn't until I oh, okay, I've got you. Yes, I came home on Thursday. Yeah, to find 4 huge boxes, and then it wasn't until I looked at the power supply box here. Sorry, the case box, that I realised there was 2 of them. So I was like, something's not right here. Looked inside. Opened up all the other boxes that were covered in tape, and there was 2 of everything. So I messaged Luke and I was like, "Hey, buddy, can you send me the invoice?" You know, like thinking that Scan had done a massive boo boo and that I was onto a winner, and which I would have just been like, "Hey, something's not right here." Yeah, and it turns out that his credit card, I think it was his credit card or his finance options, like declined or bounced on the first, check, because it was obviously a huge order for like £1,600. So he just reloaded it, and it turns out that he put the order through twice. So not only do I have all this lovely stuff, I also now have to arrange a return for all the other stuff that's downstairs as well. So yay. Gonna plug the connector back in there. Gonna leave this one off, obviously. It's gonna go back in the box. There we go. Excellent. Finally just unplug this. Okay, power supply can just be set to the side. Need to make some room here. And then we've got all this stuff now as well. That can stay there. I'm just going to move this to the side so that we can unpack the case. Yeah, so he spent £3,200. So he's like, yeah, let's get this return arranged like pretty quick so I can get my money back, eh? And I was like, yeah, no worries, mate. So that's actually what I'm going to sort out this afternoon, is the return from that. Hopefully I can get it picked up tomorrow. Yeah, so lots of fun. So have you guys had any experiences with the Macube 310? Have you seen any of the reviews? If not, have a quick Google search now. Let me know what you think. Like I say earlier, I reviewed the P version, which basically like has the cutout on the cuts out on the roof so that you can put it just gives extra ventilation. This doesn't have that. The P version. This is the non-P. The P version in the UK just doesn't seem to be available, so I did that review and then I gave the case away to someone. So they've probably got a real, like, a case that's here in the UK that there's really not a lot of. So I didn't even tell them that, actually. So surprise. Let's get this unboxing. Yeah, like I said, I did a review of the black version, and now I've seen this white version in this box here. The white looks very nice. Of course, the 310 won a lot of. It won a design award. And I've got to admit, it's a very, very attractive case. In the review, it also won the design award on the player review as well, that's on the channel and on the player.net website. I've got to say though, the white here is really very nice. You never used a case since the Bitfix Shinobi. Wow. Okay, here we go. Let's tip it up. The white looks lovely. Look at this. GameStorm logo. You've got the magnetic panels, so it's just held on by magnets, which is sick. There's a pull tab up here, you see, so you just pull that and it comes away. And it just it sits, there's this groove in the bottom. It's the same on the other side for the glass panel. So there we go, that's the way. The white looks lovely, actually. It's wow, I might buy one. The thing that I like, my biggest gripe in this is that obviously the actual case itself, or the internals, is like a heavily recycled case. Like, to the point where they've like used a lot of it before. It has nice things like the VGA support bracket. That's what this is. On the other side, there's just a metal, a piece of metal that comes out that you can rest the graphics card on to stop it from like leaning and stuff. But the hard drive case down here was one of the things that I wasn't a fan of in the review, and that was because you can't remove it. It's in there. Like, obviously you can move it like side to side a tad. So obviously we're going to install the radiator in the front of this, and it's not actually going to impede. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to unscrew it down here, like move it again, just so I can get the power supply and all that good stuff in. And then obviously I'm just going to put it back. The SSD, I'm just actually going to put in one of these mounts up here. So again, like, if I could just take this out like now and just like completely have it not there, then I would do that, but unfortunately I can't. So that is my biggest gripe with this case. So here, if we look around the other side, it's got the lovely white top. It looks very, very good in white. So we've got the reset button, 2 USB 3s, headphone and microphone jacks, and obviously the power button, and then we've just got the LED there as well. Again, this is just held in by magnets. So it's magnetic. Yeah, so it just comes out, and then you lift it out of the groove, like so. Peel's coming later. Luke, I'm gonna rob that from you, mate. I'm very sorry, but it's my peel now. Here's that bracket I was talking about. I'm trying to get some light in here, but there we go. That's probably the best view, isn't it? So that's that support bracket. So you just unscrew it, it moves up and down, and then you basically like move it across for the GPU. I'm not convinced that the GPU is actually going to be long enough to even use this, and if it's not, I'm just going to take it out. Like looking at it now, I don't think the GPU is anywhere near long enough to for this to work. So probably going to take that out. But yeah, it just comes with a single 120mm fan. Obviously, I'm going to do some like thermal tests and stuff like off stream. So if I need to buy a couple more fans, I'll get in touch with Luke. I might just like consider putting 2 more exhaust fans on the roof up here, and like replacing this one with potentially something better. But of course, I'll check thermals. We're going to have the cooler on the front here, so it's going to draw fresh air in from the front, and it's going to basically just like blast everything inside, which is the thing that I I'm a little bit like about, obviously, because I want to check like the graphics card temperatures, CPU temperatures. CPU temperatures will be fine because obviously it's drawing fresh air in, but obviously it's going to blast all that heat like right into the graphics card. So yeah, that's one of the things I'm going to look out for once I've done the build and I've got Windows installed. It looks too much like a fridge, but the magnet panel is a good feature. It's a beautiful feature. Yeah, I love it a lot. One of the, like another gripe I had on the review is that like the fan they give you has one of those like horrible Molex things. So you know what that means. Oh, so gross. Look at that. Oh, winner. So gross. Hate it. Yeah. It's got some nice rubber grommets and things like that. It's kind of weird that they put 3 in here, but then there's 2 in the top. Don't have them. 2 down here. Don't have them. Nice little window cut out actually, so you can see the power supply. Who uses Molex for a fan? Exactly. That was a gripe in my review. You guys should go check that out. I think I actually call them out for it. I'm like, Deep Call is 20 or GameStop 2020. Like, stop doing it. It's gross or something like that. Yeah, wasn't a fan. Wasn't a fan of it. I'll be honest. Wasn't a fan of the fan. Okay. Anyway, so we need to rip off the front panel. That's the last thing. The roof panel can stay on. Like I said, I don't have fans right now. If I feel like we need them, if I really feel like we need them, I'll talk to Luke. We'll buy some fans and I'll just install them off camera. Let's do just the last of the case prep. Wrong way. So that's just the cover, and then we need to take out the top slot. 6. So we need to take out this one and this one. For the graphics card. I'm going to set these screws aside. Right, guys. Magnetic part tray. Magnetic part, like magnetic tray, basically. Oh, godsend. If you don't have one of these, guys, get yourself one. They're cheap and they're amazing. Now then, bag of bits, which is basically just a bag of screws. That's what we need. Loads of cable ties. Perfect. Love that. Well done, Deep Cool. Yeah, so obviously, like I said, I've used this case before, so manuals more like, whatever, yeah. So I'm actually gonna keep these separate just so I know what they're for. Now I'm gonna take out all the screws from the entire bag because it's magnetic. And there we go. And then I'm just gonna save this for when I'm done with it and they need to go back in the box. Right. Yeah, this is coming out. We don't need this. Drop that. There we go. One more thing to add to the pile, Luke. Motherboard comes with an I/O plate built in. It's fantastic. First time I've seen that and I've fallen in love with it. Asus. I have an X299 board with one of your X299 boards. It's the Dash A Prime, and it doesn't have one. Not good. Right, we're gonna route this cable out of the way just so we can get the motherboard in. That's done. That's done. I feel like the case is prepped now, pretty much. We've got all the cables, the I/O cables hanging out the back. That's okay. Yeah, that's good. Let's do it. So we're gonna lie it down. Oh, nice scrapey scrape on the table there. What's the best way for you guys to see what I'm doing? I feel like it's probably going to be this sort of angle, isn't it? Yeah, that looks good. Alright, let's grab the motherboard. And in we go. I'm just going to drop the radiator down there. Now then, the angle you want to get is enough just so you can see it coming out the back. And it looks like we have all the headers lined up. And that just kind of sits there. It wasn't... Yeah. Okay. Oh, I see how it works. So it doesn't clip out like a normal, like a standard IO header. It just kind of sits in the hole. That makes sense. All the screws inside are lined up, so yeah, that's good. Right, let's go ahead and put these screws in. We need the ones that look like that. You guys can't see them, but they're the right ones. There we are. Thank God for Torx screwdrivers. Love them. Very good. This is a rather monotonous affair, isn't it, guys? Tedious. I don't know what the right word is. We'll go with tedious. Oh, it's becoming a pain in my ass. Right. The screwdriver's lovely, but over time its head's just got a bit like loose. It's a little bit wobbly, so as soon as I pressed the go button, it just went all over the place. That screw fell off. These screws, it must be the paint or something, but they're not overly magnetic. Now, this is a very strong head, but as you can see twice there, this screw fell off. And that's kind of annoying. That's the third time I've dropped it. Gonna guide it in. There we go. So what's your guys' plans for the rest of the day then? You have anything exciting to do? One last screw, guys, and I'm done. There we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Excellent. That was cool. Perfect. Now we need power supply screws. It's annoying when you drop the screws in the case and they go behind the motherboard. It really is. Right, so I need 4 of those. That's the screws for the power supply. Just taking out the screws I need now. 3. 4. So that's the power supply screws. Cool, I think that's everything we need. Don't know if you'll get anything listed on eBay while we have the £1 selling fees. I did the same thing, I'll be honest. I did that last night when I was laying in bed. Okay, I'm gonna grab this and tip the case back up. I feel like we're a little bit too high for you guys now, aren't we? So oh, that sounds rough. Is that better? Is that a better view for you lot? Yeah, oh, sorry, that was horrible. Yeah, that's better, isn't it? I need to get some light now, though. Okay. Now then, where to route this plug? I think if we go up that way. Yeah, there's not enough light now, is there? Beastie, hello. Maybe some of that DDR1 that isn't TCCD. No, not really. You'll still get skanked on the PayPal fees and all that stuff anyway. Depends what sort of price you reckon all that stuff can go for. There's a big old cap up there which is getting in the way. That's annoying. Not the good caps like America either. Yeah, there we go. I think we'll just do that. That looks better. A little bit cleaner. And then if we route that cable back in. Route? Oh god, I just said a dirty word. That's the 3-pin header for the readout. Oh, we need some light here, don't we? Really bad. Oh, that's very bright. Lordy hell. That's very white. Better? Cool. Yep, so that's done. Let's do the radiator now. Got the fan. We've got the screws. And GamerStorm include a nice little like header splitter on the back of the case as well. So I'm gonna, hopefully I've got enough cable length to route them all the way up there. If not, I'll just plug them into motherboard. So we need 8 of these long screws, and that is it actually. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's all we need. Everything else can go back. It looks like they include 16, so you can put fans on both sides of the radiators. That's cool. Good job, Corsair. There's obviously all the mounting kits and washers and stuff like that. We got the short screws as well, so you know, if you put fans on one side and then attach it to the case on the other. Basically everything you need, obviously, which is good. Awesome. Right. Now then, if any of you guys watch Tech Jesus, you know that he says to install radiators like this. I think it looks horrible. And it's definitely going to be conflicting with the graphics card a little bit. I guess if I put this up as high as it will go, and that is all the way up here, then that probably looks a lot better. I don't know, what do you guys think? Do you think I should do it like that? Because obviously there's going to be more than enough room for the graphics card there. But then obviously if you put it in the other way up, and that's how it looks in all the product videos and all that stuff, then it looks like this. Now, I'm not convinced that you guys can see this particularly well. So, what are we doing? We're doing it like that. Or are we doing it the Tech Jesus way? Like that? Comment now. You don't know, it depends which is best. Fit the GPU first. Oh, Luke sent me a message. Luke's watching, I think. That's a funny comment. Yeah, right. Fit the GPU first. Okay, that's not a bad shout, actually. That's a very good shout. Okay. See what I mean about that support bracket not being needed at all? Can it go in the roof? Unfortunately, it can't, my friend. No, that was the thing that lost it some brownie points in my review as well, was that the roof is just not tall enough. It needs like 30 mil, like an inch and a half. That's all it needed. But unfortunately, it doesn't come out far enough, and it clips the heat sinks on the motherboard. There we go, that's the GPU installed. So, I feel like we could do it the Tech Jesus way. And, you know, it's still doable. Like, Luke, you're watching, mate. Yeah. This is one of the only things, but the case is so nice. I like other than that, do you know what I mean? Luke, you're watching, mate. Send me a message quickly. What way do you want it? Do you want it like that? Or do you want it like that? It's your PC, mate. You're the one that's going to be looking at it. Message me now quickly. I keep dropping the light. It's so annoying. The good news is the top fans will be helping with the VRM calling, since they're actually putting air over the heat sinks. Exactly that, yeah. So obviously that's what I'm going to do in the testing, like for the rest of the day. Once I get Windows installed, I'm just going to check all that stuff. And like, to be honest, I could probably get away with just adding like one more 120mm fan like right above the heatsink here, especially this one. So I'll probably just end up doing that. I've definitely got one here laying around. It looks better with the tubes up, but if it died, that would be bad. Now, the tubes, like that, like if I install it this way, the tubes are like just above the block. So if the air gets trapped, it will be up here. Now the reason that Tech Jesus like recommends you do it this way is so that all the air gets trapped in the end of the radiator, where the air, like, you know, where the water like won't be leaving, because basically you just want to keep air out the pump. That's like literally the only reason. So like I've done so many builds where you know, where it's this way up, like for aesthetics, and I've never had a problem. So to be honest, I don't really have a problem doing it either way. But obviously, because it's Luke's build, and now he's just messaged me saying this is like my child being birthed, I think I would just rather do it the way Luke wants me to do it. I wasn't sure if he was watching or not, so. Okay. We have some information from Luke. It looks better with the tubes up. I agree. And you know what? That's the way we're going. Sorry, Tech Jesus, but you lose. Now, we're going to do it that way. And let's just see what happens. We're doing it. We're doing it. So, let's route the cable out of the way quickly. And I'm going to put the first of the 4 fan screws in. And when you install it this way, it's always so fiddly, but I've got it. I would consider myself a fairly experienced PC builder by this point. Now, I'm only putting in the top 2 screws, guys. I know you can't really see what I'm doing, but I've put in the top 2 screws. And that is just so I can get this second fan in easier. You can always turn it around if the pump gets noisy. Lawrence knows. Right, in goes the second fan. And just so you know, guys, these are intakes. So we're drawing in air from the fresh air, fresh, nice, cool air from the front. Well, as cool as possible, anyway. And I'm just routing that 4-pin cable out the back. There we go. That's a good one. And the fan's just going up the back of the radiator here. Yay, that was easy. Being so very quiet. Sorry, guys. Just focusing. There's 5 of you here, though. Thanks for joining, guys. I do appreciate it. The PC, the owner of the PC's just checked in to say he's watching as well, so that's cool. He told me, he just said to me, it's like he's watching his child get birthed, which I thought that was quite funny. Okay, and there we go. So if I spin this round for you guys to have a look, we've got the 2 fans in up here. And what I did was just put the 8 screws through into the radiator. Now, there's enough room at the bottom for another fan, but I'd probably put that in if there was like some hard drives or something in the cage at the bottom, but there's not. So I'd rather have as much air going straight into the case as possible. I'm probably gonna keep this fan, and I'm probably just gonna get another one and put it above the heatsink here. I don't think we need 2 in the top. I'm pretty sure I've got another one of these fans just lying around. So I'm just going to grab one, I'm going to chuck it in the top, and we're going to call that day. So that's done. If I spin it around again, here was, or is, that... Oh dear, that's taking a bit of a battering. Here's that fan controller I was telling you about. This basically has a cable, a 4-pin header that connects to the motherboard, and then it just gives you like 4 more to connect to, you know, all your other fans and things like that. So it's just like I don't know what the word is, an extender. I don't know. But luckily, the cables are just long enough to route up and plug into that. So there we go. I'm going to have one there. That last fan, which is the fan on the back of the case, I'm going to plug into the number 1 header. And that basically is the header that gives it a reading. So that's fine. They can stay there. So that's good. Everything's going to be powered from the header on the motherboard, which is actually really good. Next, I'm just going to tip the case over. We're going to release... Oh my, can't see a thing again. I'm going to undo this hard drive bracket, move that out of the way. We're going to chuck the power supply in. Going to route all the power supply cables, and then we're going to do this mess. So yeah, let's do that. These 4 screws are on the bottom here. Now there is a small rail. Can you guys see that? See, there is a small rail that lets you just move it from side to side, but that's all they give you. Now, it would have got a much better review had this gone over a lot further, like to the point where it was touching like the edge of the case. But it doesn't, and I don't know why. I'm gonna actually, I think there might just be enough room with that all the way over there, so I'm just gonna leave that like that. We'll try it now anyway, and we'll know in about 5 seconds. So I'm going to leave all the modular cables plugged in. Fans going down because there's an intake on the bottom here, as you can see. It's all grilled. There's a removable dust filter, Luke, just so you know. And the verdict is, with that moved over and the modular cables plugged in, I can just about get away with installing it without removing that, without having to take all the screws out. So that's good. Oh, just got away with it. Well done, Game Install. Okay, spin it around again. We're going to put these screws in here. Macube 310p. Walt, yes it is, my friend. Who's on the player account? Who did that smiley face? Oh, it's Bonbon. Hey Gav, how are you, mate? Yeah, it's the Macube 310p in white. I've done a review on the channel before, Walt. Not sure if you've seen it, but it was black and it was the 310p. This is just the standard 310, but in white, and I'm going to be completely honest with you, I'm a big fan of the white. Unscrew all screws from the hard drive cage. Yeah, I actually didn't need to. The annoying thing is that like, you know, Deep Core, Gamerstorm, or whatever you want to call them, have like reused. Yeah, I have it as well. You know, is that they've reused like this like the frame so many times. They've just put different skins on the outside. I'm actually going to leave it all the way over. I'm going to move it back across. Actually, that's fine. There's enough room. I can bundle all the rest of the cables in there. Yeah, but like I really hate that there's not an option to just take this out. I hate it. I can't stand it. It's the thing that bugs me the most about the case. And it's the reason why it didn't get an award and it only got the design award. Now, that doesn't like detract from the fact that the rest of the case is fantastic. It really is. It's a brilliant case. But this annoys the snot out of me. Like, it's just crazy. Mr. Bonbon, nice to see you, mate. Gavin Bonshaw from Anantech, everyone. Woohoo! Oh, wrong way. Thank God for torque screwdrivers, guys. If you guys build PCs a lot and you don't have a torque screwdriver, get yourself one. A flying modem. This is the Gamerstorm Macube 310p, my friend. There we go. Power supply is installed. I've moved the cage back to where it started, and that is basically the hard drive cage is so that it's completely flush with this. Now, obviously, the radiator is installed, so it's not really going to affect it, but just for me, for the aesthetics, yeah, it's just me, basically. So pump fan 1, here we go. I'm going to put the header from the CPU block into pump fan number 1. Good job, MSI. I'm going to take that cable, the fan extension cable header, and I'm going to plug that into the CPU fan number 1 header. So I'm going to do that right now. Now, before a lot of you guys just got here, we were having, the magnets are awesome. They're such a good feature. We were having a conversation about the way that we should install the radiator, and I've decided to go for this. If we get any problems, I've done it so many times as well, and if we get any issues, I'm just going to flip it. You know, Tech Jesus is probably going to send me a real shitty message, but I'm okay with it. So let's get these the bulk of the cables installed quickly. We're gonna route the 24-pin middle one or top one. What do you reckon, guys? 24-pin headers here. We've got a one here. We've got a cable route grommet there and a grommet there. Where do you reckon? I'm kind of thinking this one. The graphics card is a MSI 2070 Super. It's the Ventus GP edition. Originally, we were going to go for the Gaming X, but when we came to purchase, it just wasn't available anymore. So we went for this instead. This is the only one that was similarly priced, unfortunately. So. And ironically, it just seems to be like an MSI theme. It just kind of worked out that way. I definitely didn't do it on purpose. You know, MSI aren't very popular guys at the moment, but the stuff that they make is still very good. So, yeah. And of course, the motherboard is the MSI MPG X570 Gaming Edge Wi-Fi. And really, I picked this. The price is the best. Luke wants Wi-Fi, so it comes with Wi-Fi on board. I didn't want to have too much stuff in here, so we've just got the Wi-Fi on board instead. Let's do this middle grommet. I appear to have picked up a rogue cable. There we are. Right, out you come. Well done, thank you. So here we are, and if we spin this one around. Oh, it's got one of those annoying 24 pins and I hate it. It's like one of those annoying 20+4s and they need to die. Oh, wow. Cool, that took some time, but there we go, we got there. Got there in the end. That was annoying. MSI have a few face plants, but their other manufacturers are just better. Lucky at getting away with stuff. Gamers Nexus also said nothing will happen immediately, so it'd be fine. Some of the media slamming MSI are also guilty of extorting the same companies for positive press. Quick attack, it depends. You see the WC builds on the top. Yeah, okay. Oh, my coffee's gone cold. Right, screw it. That's good. Let's plug in the 8-pin power header next. Now we have it here. Here we go, boys and girls. I'm just going to turn it so I can see what I'm doing in a second. Would have liked it if it was one of those headers that you could like stick together just to make it a lot easier to go in, but I guess I'm just kind of spoiled. We'll get there. Just takes a little bit longer. We're going to let the CPU do its thing. We're not going to apply an overclock. And that's only because, you know, if it fails, I'm not really close enough to Luke to be able to like go and just fix it straight away. So we're going to just let the CPU do its auto thing. There we go, but that's plugged in anyway, and it's just routed up and out the top. Oh man. It's really not that much light, guys. I'm so sorry. But there we go, up there. Yeah, that sucks. I'm sorry about the light. Now, let's see if we can get the camera a bit closer. That's better, isn't it? Ow. Here comes the power cables. I'm not going to plug that in right now, actually. I just kind of want it here so I know where it is. Oh, this is the non-P variant. It is indeed, yeah. Right. Cable management time, boys and girls. I have no idea if Luke's planning on using like what his planned for audio is, so I'm just going to plug in all the front panel stuff. We have the header down here. But MSI's onboard audio is actually always normally pretty good. So, yeah. You know, I wouldn't blame him if he decided he wanted to use it. But I just plugged in that header down here. You don't know if the 3-pin fan can handle heat dissipation. So it's intaking from the radiator on the front. I'm definitely gonna get another fan that's gonna go in the top here, and that's just to aid some cooling for the VRMs here. And then I'm just gonna leave the stock one. So we're moving the front panel connectors now. This is something with the MPG that I'm not entirely sure on the layout. I'm very sneakily going to bring in the front panel USB 3 header. And on the Gaming Edge, they've got one of those right angle connectors here, which is beautiful. And it's there's a slight cutout on the motherboard as well. So that doesn't feel right. It doesn't feel right because there's a bent pin. So the non-P is the one without the vents. Yeah, that's it. Yeah. Tempted to order a Focusrite interface. If you plan on getting a microphone, oh man, I can't believe there's a bent pin. How fucking annoying is that? If you plan on going like XLR Gav, then yeah, it's worth it, mate. Damn it, MSI, there's a bent pin. And I fixed it. I fixed it. The USB 3.0 header is probably got to be the worst header ever invented. Let me just see if it's going to go in. Yep, fixed it. That's good. Yeah, so basically the difference between the non-P and the P is that the this is the top panel when we're very close. But I've just tipped it up. This is the top panel. This panel up here has vents. That's on the P, and on the non-P it does not. There we go. Dr. Dave to the rescue. Well, that wasn't annoying. You guys couldn't even see what I was doing there, really, could you? But I have a... Oh, God. See that USB 3.0 header here? That's basically what I was trying to plug in this entire time. That was so annoying. I would not be having these lighting issues if I if the capture card had turned up, but unfortunately it screwed me over yesterday by not arriving. So, yes. Having to make do with some lights is a pain in the arse. I do know. I do indeed, yes. That's slightly better, isn't it? That's funny. Right. Front panel headers. Yeah. I don't know. What do we have? Reset, power, and power LED plus and minus. Is it going to be one of these handy dandy layouts? Yes, there is. Right, cool. Power LED is the top right. Is that what I have? Power LED, indeed. Sick. There we go. Perfect. And we've got the minus is on the left. So power LED. Good job, MSI, printing it on the board. You lifesavers. Power switch up top. I know that one because I shorted it a minute ago to test the hardware. And resets on the bottom. Outstanding. Just like that. Front panel connectors are connected. Booming. Right. Let's do the headers for the power connectors for the graphics card now. So we do the 8-pin followed by the 6-pin. There we have the 8-pin and the 6-pin, and that's installed on the 2070. Very nice. We're just going to route that down there and out the bottom. Looking all beautiful and stuff. There we go. Twist the cable. It's one of those like flat 8-pin cables. Don't know whether you guys are like huge fans of those or not, but now you need a new streaming setup. Yeah, sorry guys. Just routing cables, you know how it is. So here's what we have so far. H100X is installed. 24 pins plugged in, 8 pins plugged in. We got the header for the fan controller on the back. GPU's installed. The 1TB M.2 is on under this heatsink here, and that was the 970 Evo. We're going to install the 2TB BX500 shortly, so that's probably going to be the next thing actually. All the cables plugged in. We got front panels connected. Front panel USB 3 is also connected. Yep, so that's nice. 24 pins in. Move around the back. Not so tidy actually, but just going to tie in the SATA power, and that is for the CPU cooler. I'm just going to plug that in quickly to one of these headers. Oh no, that's the complete wrong one. I'll plug that into this one, and then that way we have this cable coming over here that I can plug straight into the SSD. This 8-pin cable could have done with just being a tad bit longer, but it's not really in the way. Ooh. So there's that. We're going to install the M.2 onto this back plate. Luke, sorry mate, you're never going to see it, but you know it's here. There we are, guys. Crucial BX 2.5, 2,000 gigabytes, 2 terabytes of goodness there. Lovely! And we're going to put it like that. So, yeah, so this is upside down as well. So it's probably a good thing you can't see it. And we just need 2 more of those screws. I need more room in this room, guys. You are pissed off sounds. You are lazy. I always use a normal screwdriver. I don't know. I wouldn't say that's lazy. I'd say it's intelligent. Oh wow, that feels tough. There we are. Another nice thing is the Velcro that comes so that you can use it. Cable management, very nice. Getting stuck down the back. There we go. Come this way, you little sucker. There we go. So, I'm going to smash a bunch of these cables into that gap. And I think we're pretty much good to go. Now, yeah, they're fine. Not the best like cable management ever. Actually, it's pretty freaking awful. But all the cables are in the same place. They're where I need them. There's all this stuff here, but that's fine. We've got these cables here. That's all plugged in. SATA data. Ta-da! SATA cable. Now, that's obviously going to get plugged in here. And if we spin it around, where do we need it to go? Okay, all the way up here. Excellent. So he's going to come out bot, and he's going to go into number 1, which is on the bottom down here. Nice, that worked out really well. MSI also made a bit of an indentation on the motherboard down here. And that's where, I don't know how well you guys can see, if at all. But, sorry, I'm just looking at my screen. There's a cutout. You can kind of just make it out here. There's a bit of an indentation where the board goes in just a tad and it comes back out here just below the SATA 3 connector. Or like there. So you can see it at the top there, just above the top of the light. See that indentation where the just above the graphics card? So it goes in a bit and it comes out right below the SATA 3 connector, which again is just below the light, just above the light. And that's nice. That actually helped out a lot. So good job MSI on that one. I've also just realised that I forgot to plug in the fan header for the fan that comes included with the case. So we're just going to run that out the back quickly. Oh, that's horrible. And I'm just going to plug that into the fan number 1 header. There we go, and we're just gonna smash up. That's it. So, back panel time. Another thing I love about this case is, yeah, there is plenty of space, is that you just drop the panel in the bottom here, and it's magnetic. So you just, if we go up a minute, if we just clip it on. Oops, something slightly misaligned somewhere. Ah, I've got it. It's one of those power cables in the bottom of the case. There we go. Yeah, so it's magnetic, it's beautiful, that's it, jobs are good. Now, if you really just never wanted these panels to come off, there's a GamerStorm include like a bracket that you screw in here that goes around the edge of the case basically, and you can just lock it in place. But it's so smart. There's a lot there, yeah, like I say, there was a lot of room back there. That panel went on really easy. Gonna put on the front panel again. That's a very good looking panel as well. Like, look at this. That is gorgeous. And then finally, the glass panel in all its glory. You ready for this? The main event. Oof. That is some horrible ass glare, isn't it? You wish you had a mate like me. Nice build. Thank you, Craig. I appreciate that, my friend. Right. Peel time. Let's do this. Is it still showing? Oh, it's still on the glass. How annoying. Peel porn at its finest right here, boys and girls. Oh! And I'm done. Now, I'm not going to completely rip my mate Luke off. here's the front panel here. Oh no, I found an issue. That cable is tapping the glass. There we go. Fixed it. And here we go. Listen for the magnet click. Oh! That is beautiful. I'm very sorry about the light, guys. There we are. There we go. And I'm actually gonna leave this for Luke. I'm sorry. I'm really sorry to ruin it for you all, but Lukey, mate, you get to do the peel porn. It's your PC, buddy. And yeah, I'm gonna leave this one for you. I wanted one for myself, and I think that's only fair. Now you get the best one, so you got to do it like I did, nice and slow. But yeah, just to finish off, should we be watching it this time of day with family members in the other room? That's up to you, mate. But yeah, the build's done. That's it. I've just got to put that cover. There's that tiny little cover that goes on the back here. You've got to do that. I need to finish. I need to get going. But yeah, that's it. So there's just that little clip there to finish the build, and the job's a good one. I'm gonna leave the peel for my mate Luke. I think that's only fair. I think you guys would agree with me there. But a quick run over the specs again for any of you guys that missed it. The motherboard is the MSI MPG X570 Gaming Edge Wi-Fi, so it comes with Wi-Fi on board. Luke is just going to have to get the antennas out of here, plug them in when he's ready to go. CPU of choice is the AMD Ryzen 7 3800X, so that's the 8-core 16-thread beast. RAM, Corsair Vengeance LPX. It's a 32 gig stick of 3200 megahertz. There we go. OS drive, 1 terabyte, Samsung 970 EVO M.2 NVMe SSD. Absolute beast. That was one of the things that I told him that he had to spend a good chunk of change on. He's talking about he's a gamer, but he wants to get into streaming, and obviously like he wants quick game loading times and things like that. So you guys might have just got here in time for the BX500. That's the 2 terabyte 2.5 inch SSD, which is installed in the back of the PC. So later on, I'm just going to make sure all that works. Yeah, so that's that. There's no mechanical storage here whatsoever. Graphics card, once again, is the MSI RTX 2070 Super. It's the Ventus, the GP edition. That's 8 gigs, DDR6. Very, very nice card. Cooling is the Corsair H100X. It's kind of that like price to performance CPU cooler, but we're going to let the CPU do its auto like overclock thing. So yeah, that's fine. That's all done. Being powered by the EVGA 750 GQ. So that's like the it's a modular PSU 80 plus gold. The only thing that's not modular is the 24 pin. And I'm not seeing any other boxes here, so yeah, I think that's it. Obviously, the case was, once again, the GameStorm MacCube 310p, and I think you agree that I picked a pretty good case for Luke overall. It's like aesthetically, it's just an aesthetic piece. Like it's just, you know, it's I can't really show you guys very well, but it's, you know, just like a beautiful like front panel, and it goes round the side. It just like matches all the way along the top. Beautiful glass like side panels. It's magnetic on both sides as well, so you just pull it to remove it, and it just like nice strong magnets for it to stick. So yeah, I think that's a beautiful case, and I'm gonna have to love you and leave you here, guys. thank each and every one of you so much for joining me. And I don't know how long we've been going for now. How long have we been going for? 2 hours and 12 minutes. So thank you for joining me for the last couple of hours, guys. And yeah, I'm going to get the OS installed later on, do some testing. Probably just going to grab another 120mm fan, stick it up in the top there just to give some extra extra cooling for the VRMs in the motherboard. And yeah, just get some drivers installed. I'm gonna Luke wants to play Modern Warfare, so you know, it's a 200 gig game, so I'm gonna chuck that on an SSD and install that for him, so he doesn't have to download all the files. Because yeah, you know, I'm a nice friend. And yeah, I'm just gonna probably play a little bit of that on this, just to do some tests and things like that. I want to see what the CPU like auto overclocks itself to. That's got a proper name, but I can't remember what it's called. But you know, it's where it like auto overclocks itself. GPU boost? No, not GPU boost. CPU boost? Is that what it's called? Where it just boosts itself, basically. Yeah, whatever it's called. I can't remember what it's called. And obviously, yeah, we've got the XMP set on the RAM, so that's good. It's at 3200 megahertz. See what the see what sort of temperatures the graphics cards get up to. See if it's worth applying some sort of overclock or whether it's not. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Thank you once again, guys, for joining me. And yeah, I need to get going. I've got to head off now. But yeah, bye for now.